Yay.
Hey, Paula.
Hey,
Hey,
Paula.
we're live.
We are live.
That
Live
is
on
good
Cameo
versus
Cares.
dead. So, hello to all my friends out there that are watching. Thank y'all so much. I so love and appreciate every time that I get to communicate with y'all, meaning my friends out there. Because
today's
I
for
can't
such a
thank you
special
enough.
cause.
Huh?
And today's for such a special cause.
I know that is just wonderful. I started the Bag Lady Foundation in 2012, and I said, Lord, if I ever make it, I want to find a way to help other women and their children. And so I've done that, and hopefully the Bag Lady is going to be working on something, Eddie, to help the people out there that are food deficient.
Well, it's so important right now, Paula, and we've loved having you on Cameo for the past, it's been a month now almost, maybe 2 months?
About a month.
And
I have enjoyed doing it. Huh?
We're raising money today. We were raising money
Yay!
the day before. I just found out we've raised almost $500,000, which is incredible.
No. In what period of time, Arthur?
2 days. So for every Cameo that's booked, yesterday, Thursday, and today, 100% of proceeds are going to No Kid Hungry, Restaurant Employee Foundation, Music Cares, and Actors Fund. So we're doing cameos, we're having fun, and we're doing it for a great cause. And
that is so great, Arthur. I mean, $500,000 in 2 days. That's wonderful and so needed. So needed.
Well, Paula,
I wish I could go out and feed everybody, but of course, I'm quarantined here at the house.
So what are you making for us today?
I am going to share with y'all my grandmother Paul's chicken and dumplings. And I understand we're just together for 30 minutes. Is that right, kids? Just 30 minutes?
So, yeah.
30.
Okay. Well, I can't do chicken and dumplings from start to finish in 30 minutes. So I've already boiled my chicken, and I have right here on a tray, y'all. The most important thing to chicken and dumplings is your stock. If you have a good, rich stock, you're going to have some good chicken and dumplings. So, all right, I got to scoot over here, see if I can see.
So you got to do homemade.
Eddie, is this on you? Eddie, you're going to have to help me because I want to turn it on.
Okay. And Paula, while you're cooking that, we made some sweet tea because I always see you drink
Oh, good.
tea.
I just want it to get hot.
And we might spike our tea with bourbon, though. Is that okay?
Ooh! That sounds so not good. So how much? All right, so you made that one picture, Lindsay?
Yeah, we just made one picture today.
How much sugar did you put in that picture?
Probably not enough.
Okay.
We're in the north here. We don't really know how to do this. I just did my best.
So you don't know how much sugar you put in it?
Well, I put in some honey because we're just working with what we have here. She's like, no.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, so the first thing I'll teach you to make when you come to Savannah is sweet tea.
Perfect.
Okay.
We need that.
Because us Southerners, we love our tea sweet.
Yes.
But of course, since I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, I no longer drink sweet tea. I have to drink the unsweet. But
so what do you do unsweetened now?
Yes, for me personally.
Yeah.
For me personally, because we drink so much tea down here. And so I thought, well, that's one way I can cut back on the sugar. But so anyway, getting back to my grandmother's recipe, and I'm going to tell y'all why I'm sharing this particular recipe with you today. All right, what are you doing, Lindsay?
Just a dash.
Don't follow. We're here for
That is bourbon. Is that bourbon? Well, let me ask you this. What do you? I can't see it.
This is Bullet. Do you have
Bullet.
a favorite bourbon or favorite whiskey?
Honey, I don't drink.
That's okay.
I just
cheers
never.
to you, Paula.
I love a margarita, but I never really acquired a taste for alcohol. But if I'm hot and thirsty, now I can chug a lug of ice cold beer.
Oh, there you go. That sounds refreshing.
An ice cold beer, but that may be once every 2 years.
All right, so back to your chicken and dumplings.
Yes, back to the chicken and dumplings. And I'm going to tell y'all why I chose this recipe to share with you, because it means so much to my heart. I lost my father when he was 40 years old, and I was just 19. And I adored him. I just adored him. As long as a girl's got her daddy, you feel very secure and safe. And I knew as long as my daddy was living, that nobody could ever hurt me. And it was kind of a sudden, it was unexpected death. And his very favorite meal in the whole world was chicken and dumplings. And I kind of went off the track after my daddy died. I was not able to really think straight. And I was 19. I was still a teenager. A married teenager, let me add, which that's a bad combination right there. But anyway, after my daddy died, I asked my grandmother, Paul, would you please teach me how to make those chicken and dumplings that my daddy loves? And it was like I wanted to know how to do it just in case this was a dream I was having. So that was the first dish I remember my grandmother saying, okay, this is how we're going to do it. So like I said, this is very special because I knew it was my daddy's favorite. So like I said, the most important part is getting that good, rich stock. And you can't get that with the cartoned chicken broth or anything like that. So I put a whole chicken in my stock pot back here, and I covered it really good with water. I wish I could touch it, but I can't.
And you do a whole chicken?
Yes, and I leave it whole. I leave it whole because to me it's just easier to pick if I start with a whole chicken. And this is what I seasoned my pot with. I actually took this out of the pot: celery, carrots, onions, and 2 bay leaves.
Okay.
And salt and pepper.
Simple.
And it's so simple. This is not a tricky dish, but you want to make sure your chicken really comes through. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with these type of bases, but this is like a wet chicken bouillon cube, only much, much richer. They have made this from roasting the bones of chickens. And so I put about a tablespoon of this in my water just to assure that chicken flavor came through. And you can find these at the grocery store on your soup aisle. And if you ever use wet bases, you'll never go back to the little cubes again.
It's like a little flavor booster. Gives you a head start.
It's a big flavor booster. And it comes in beef, chicken, vegetables. I don't have any luck finding seafood base in the grocery stores, but I can get that through our restaurants. So I learned a couple of weeks ago when I made chicken and dumplings, I have a line of small appliances. I don't know if y'all know that, but I have a fabulous air fryer that I go on Shop HQ with, and I've got a pressure cooker. Oh, I can't remember what all I got. A mixer. I mean, I love small appliances, and I love taking ideas and making them better. So that's what I'm doing with all my appliances.
What's your line called, Paula?
Huh?
What's your line called?
Paula Deen?
Okay.
That's a quinky dink, ain't it? All right, so I found when I made chicken and dumplings a couple of weeks ago that I was short on time. So I cooked my chicken on top of the stove just like I ordinarily would. And I said, well, since I'm so short of time, I'm going to drop my dumplings down into my pressure cooker, and I can cook those in 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this pressure cooker is so strong. That water's just a boiling. And, you know, my mother, God rest her soul, she had a pressure cooker on her stove at all times. But it was
Why do you use a pressure cooker, Paula?
because you can cook a wonderful pot roast in 45 minutes, where you're talking about 3 or 4 hours on top of the stove. I can make mashed potatoes in about 7 minutes.
Wow.
So I just love it. But I was always so scared of my mother's because it had the little thing on top and it jingled. And if you didn't put that lid on right, it could blow your ceiling up.
The first
Not
time I
to
used
mention
one,
your
yeah.
face.
I was pretty
To
scared of it
mention
too.
your face. Yes. I was scared to death. And when I would use my mother's, I wouldn't let my sons in the kitchen while I was using the crock pot. That's how I meant the pressure cooker. That's how scared I was of it. But my pressure cooker, you cannot blow it up. You don't have to worry.
That's
It's so safe. Yes. All right. So grandma taught me how to make dumplings out of plain flour, salt, and ice water. And when I say ice water, I mean really ice water. And you just work that flour and add a little ice water at the time. Now, in 1966, when my grandmother taught me how to make these dumplings, they did not have, what did I do with the paper it came in? The little sleeve, what did I do with it?
And Paula, when you say plain flour, I just learned about lily white flour. What's all that about? Because that's something we don't have up here.
It's white lily. It's just
white lily. Yeah.
But if you're making a cake, you want it to rise. If you're making southern dumplings, you don't want it to rise. So you would use plain flour for that. But back when grandmother taught me how to make these, they didn't have this on the market.
Okay.
And this is Mary Hill dumplings. There's 2 name brands out there. And so when I saw this, I said, and this has been years, I said, I'm going to try that. And oh my goodness, because when I made my grandmother's dumplings, it would take me almost an hour to get that to roll out and thin enough. And then you have to let them dry. So I don't do the old timey rolling anymore. I think if y'all try this, you're going to love that product. So my water, oh my gosh, yes. And see what the dumplings look like.
Oh, wow. See
how thin they are? And they come out tough. Now I'm dropping this in the boiling water.
And tough is a good thing here, right?
Huh? Tough
is a good thing. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You just want to be able to, turn your fork sideways and cut it with your fork.
And how's a dumpling different than, so that looks almost like lasagna sheets.
It does, doesn't it? Well, I understand that up north, y'all are more partial to drop dumplings.
Yeah, my mom makes those big fluffy cloud ones.
Yeah, no, we don't do that. We don't do that in the South. We make the old timey. Eddie, if you would help me with this, I want to get the lid on it as quick as I can, so it can go under pressure. And I'm going to set it for about 6 or 7 minutes, y'all. And these dumplings are going to be ready. And then I didn't put all my stock in here. I still got some stock back there. So I will pour this back into my stock pot.
Ah, okay.
And because I like a lot of liquid for my dumplings. I don't like them to be dried out. So hopefully hopefully I can get these ready before y'all have to leave.
We can have a couple extra minutes too, Paula.
So okay, good. Thank you, Arthur. So there we go.
It's funny you mentioned that this was the one dish, because my dad makes famous hot fudge. My sister had a dream that he was on his deathbed, and she said, "But what about the hot fudge recipe?"
No.
That looks good, Paula.
That was amazing.
Thank you. So did he share the recipe with somebody?
He has shared it with one person, and it wasn't either of his daughters. So neither of us have it. One of my cousins has it. So.
Good. Well, it's so important. If you'll set it on about 7 minutes, Eddie, it's so important that you young people not let your elder family members take recipes to the grave, because one day you will be sorry. You will be sad that you didn't go get it. So that's important. Make sure you do it. Learn everything you can from your mother, your grandmother, your aunts, your best friend.
That's such a great.
Paula.
Yeah.
So for all of our new employees at Cameo, we do something called what is your death row meal? And on the first day, they introduce themselves to the company, and they get to share in front of 137 people in 137 different offices on Zoom what their death row meal is.
Goodness.
What is Paula Deen's death row meal?
Probably about a mile-long buffet.
Okay.
It would take me a long time to eat. I'd stretch it out as long as I could. But I tell you what, I would definitely be digging into the meat and the potatoes. I love meat and potatoes, and of course, good bread. Good.
And what kind of meat is that?
Well, I guess I'd have to say steak.
Steak.
Or a good pot roast, just beef. There's nothing better than a great hamburger.
Oh my gosh, yes.
As long as it's got meat in it. Don't give me no veggie burger.
Paula, I remember watching you on the Food Network.
Uh-huh.
Probably 10 years ago. You were my absolute favorite.
Oh,
one time you made a hamburger with Krispy Kreme donuts before
Guilty.
It was popular. And I remember seeing KFC then doing that with chicken sandwiches. I was like, Paula Deen started this. She was the first person to put meat in the middle of a donut, and I haven't had it yet, and I can't wait.
Awesome. That is so funny that you say that, because I really didn't think anything of it. I was a local singer and friend of mine was doing my show with me that day, and I was making hamburgers for her. And for some reason, I had donuts, because I was supposed to come up with a recipe for donuts. And a friend of mine from Florida had just, like the week before, sent me a recipe for Krispy Kreme bread pudding. Ooh. So I said, "Oh, thank you, Jim. You saved me," because I didn't know what kind of recipe I was going to come up with using Krispy Kreme donuts. They're so good. I eat those plain, honey. The only thing I put in those is my lips. That's it. So, and they had my hamburger buns. The kitchen team did. They had my hamburger buns up there on the counter waiting for me to put that hamburger together. And I felt them. And I looked at Kim, my friend, and I said, "Those buns are as hard as my arteries, and I can't stand a hard bun." So I reached up there and felt the donuts. I said, "Oh, Kim, these donuts are fresh. So let's just fix our hamburger on those."
That was your light bulb moment.
Yeah, well, it was just instinct. It was there. And it was so incredibly delicious. I asked the camera if they would stop rolling, because my husband was in our bedroom asleep. And, he's got crazy hours. He's a harbor pilot here in town, so he just works goofy hours. And I said, "Michael, wake up. You have got to taste this hamburger on these donuts. It's incredible." And, of course, I got hung up by my toenails, for
Did he think he was waking up from a nightmare or a dream?
No, I'm talking about the general public out there. There's always one or two people that, can say the nastiest things. And of course, I had sacrificed heritage of a hamburger with donuts. But let me tell you, I knew it was a winner when I heard one of the state fairs was going to be serving Krispy Kreme hamburgers. I said, "Okay."
Now I've made it.
Now I have made it. And I've seen them fairly often now. But they're good, honey. But only one serving per lifetime.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And I've had my serving. I've had my serving.
Paul, you've helped transform the way people eat. You're one of the pioneers in the Food Network.
Oh,
you helped inspire me. I know you've inspired so many people. That's quite the footprint that you've left on this country.
Well, thank you, Arthur. You're so sweet. But it's my way of thinking that mother's cooking and grandmother's cooking will never go out of style.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what region in the country you lived, in Chicago or somewhere, and you had your mother doing home cooking, right? Didn't matter really where you were from, although I have to say the South was really, 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 really good.
Yeah. So when your kids come over to eat, what's the one thing they ask you to make over and over and over? Do they have a favorite of yours?
Yes, they do. Bobby loves my goulash, and you talking about a simple but comforting dish. And I taught him how to make it. In fact, it's in my cookbooks under Bobby's goulash. And Jamie, he could stand up here all day and eat my fried pork chops.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Those are simple, down-home cooking, delicious, calorie-inducing, heart attack-inducing
yes,
things.
yes. And I love them.
And they're good.
Love a pork chop. But
and are you gonna have another grandbaby soon?
Jamie and Brooke, my oldest son and his wife, just gave birth a week ago yesterday to another little boy. They've got 3 boys now. And Bobby and his wife gave birth to triplets.
Oh my goodness.
This coming October will be 2 years now.
Oh,
and
wow.
Of course, between Michael and me, our 11th grandchild is due August the 1st. So out of 11 grandchildren, we have 8 boys and 3 girls.
Wow. That's so fun. How's quarantine going with triplet 2-year-old?
You know, their mother is a war mother. You know, she's amazing when it comes to taking care of those children. And they spent 4 months in the intensive care unit.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we were praying that we would get all 3 of them home because they were born at 26 weeks.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You know, and they're supposed to hatch at 40 weeks. So they were very critical. And of course, they have to be watched and monitored. I think they have like 5 doctors right now. But they have to be kept very safe and monitored because they started out with critical lung condition and heart. But they are doing beautifully. They are so beautiful, and they are walking around jabbering, and I can't, she won't let me, Cloud and Bobby will not let me come inside. And I understand that. I understand that. I wouldn't ask them to let me in for nothing, but I do go over at their window and hold the babies up, and we kiss each other through the glass.
That's so sweet. You got to do what you can right now, you know?
Yes.
I bet it's hard not to hug your grandbabies, but at least you can go knock on the window.
And we've got a grandson, Henry is 8 now, Michael. Oh my gosh, and he's the sweetest thing. He'll pick up the phone and call us and say, I hope you don't get the virus. Just so sweet. But let me see if I can name them all. Let's see, Sully, Henry, John, Bennett, Davis, Jack, Maddie, Amelia, Olivia, and Linton. Did I get all 11? Well, the 11th one, I got 10, I think. The one that's due in August doesn't have a name. But between Michael and me, when I married him, he had a son and a daughter, and which just thrilled me because I had 2 boys. So I was so happy to have a girl pulled into the mixture. So
so Paula, we've got the dumplings in.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I made Eddie jump. All right, can I?
Oh,
okay.
Jesus.
So now we're having to release that steam. Whoa, I put a lot of liquid in there, so it's juicy.
Well, it's good broth.
Yes. Okay, so I might.
And that's the scary part, but it's perfectly safe. Normal.
Yes. I just put a lot of liquid in there, so it's just because of the high liquid that it's wanting to spew out of the pressure valve. But it's all right, and it doesn't take but a minute for it to depressurize. So this one, my pressure cooker won't let you open it until it's completely depressurized. So that's great.
This seems like an easy quarantine meal.
Yeah.
Michael went to Albany and got my Aunt Peggy and brought her over here. What, 3 weeks? Is it 3 weeks from tomorrow, from Monday, Michael? And in Albany, they've been hit pretty hard with this virus. So my Aunt Peggy is 90 years old. So I just knew that we had to get her out of there. And so she's here in quarantine, and she heard that I was making chicken and dumplings in here, and they said she got real excited.
I would be too.
When they told her.
You gonna make me that tonight?
Why not?
Listen, you can do it so easily. If you go get those frozen dumplings, you can do it so quick, honey. Now I've got some fresh parsley here, and I'm just gonna chop that up, give it a rough chop, and I'm gonna put that in my pot, the very last thing. But I've got my chicken here that I picked. That was a big old chicken. He probably weighed about 5 pounds. Yeah.
Wow, got a lot of meat off.
And now my mama and grandmama, when they made chicken and dumplings, they cut the chicken up and left the bones in them, because we're all bone knowers. I come from a group of bone knowers. And my grandmother and grandfather was in the restaurant business, and my grandmother, she was really a gourmet cook. She did it all. All right, so our dumplings are ready. I wish you could see them.
Well, Paula, we've got a fan question. Somebody's asking where they can find this recipe.
I think it's in my very first book, Arthur. But I know it is in Kitchen Classics, the Lady and Sons Kitchen Classics.
Okay.
Now, I did leave the bones to the wing on, because people like to gnaw on that wing bone. But look at that. That was a big old chicken.
Oh man, that looks so good.
He made a lot of chicken.
That is comfort
All right,
food right
so
there.
here comes the parsley. And now after you take your chicken out of your pot, you'll want to check your seasoning and make sure that you've got your pot seasoned just right.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to add some more salt and pepper. Look at that dumpling. Look at that dumpling. I can't corral it.
It's amazing. It's not even getting in there so slowly.
Look. Oh, I'm going to get him. He is not getting away, honey.
And Paula, are you a kosher salt or fine salts? Do you have
like
a favorite?
Kosher. I like kosher, and I like really big, coarse black pepper.
Yeah, lots of that.
All right, so I hate that I've got to eat without y'all.
Oh, me too.
But I'm going to taste it for you. You know, I know the country is turned upside down with this virus, but now, y'all, it's a great time to get in your kitchen. And if you're quarantined with your children or your grandchildren, you know, bring them in the kitchen and make things that you thought, well, I'll get to it one day. I'll make that one day. I'll try that recipe one day. So now is a great time to get in there and share your love of the kitchen with the people that you love, because some of my favorite memories of mine personally come from a kitchen. And
well, Paula,
that's just how we show our love. Yes. Shoot it, baby. Shoot it.
People are wondering, now that they're quarantined, what is the best dish they should make as a new home chef? First-time home chef.
Gosh, I don't know. Can I tell them what I'm doing, Eddie? I can't tell them that I'm doing the show. Okay, I can't tell you that I'm doing the shows. So you can't tell nobody. But I've been sharing recipes with people that hopefully, you know, we're not going to the grocery store like we used to. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to come up with recipes that hopefully you've got everything it takes to make that dish. Like cracker salad, you know, we all have soda crackers.
Some good pantry meals.
Yes. And oh yeah, you can go to my webpage, pauladeen.com.
Yes, and your Facebook.
And Facebook, isn't that Facebook? Isn't pauladeen.com the Facebook?
No.
It's not.
It's two separate.
You've got a great YouTube channel too, Paula Deen on YouTube.
Yes. Thank you. I love that, what I'm doing over there. But you know, I'm just trying to stay connected with everybody and just let them know that even though they feel alone, they're not alone. We're all in this together. And I really feel like that America was spiraling at one point. And then this virus showed up, and I swear, I think it's gonna make America stronger and smarter, and I hope kinder.
Bringing people together again.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're right. Cooking is such a good way to, you know, keep yourself busy, keep your hands busy, share food with someone you love. Yeah. Oh, man.
And have some unbelievable Paula Deen chicken dumpling soup.
You wouldn't believe how good those frozen dumplings are.
Well,
I mean, they look just like my grandmama's.
Cheers. With our
cheers to y'all. Cheers to y'all.
Cheers.
This country is so lucky to have smart young people like y'all going after your dreams and doing a damn good job at it.
Well, Paula, thank you so much for joining us today. If you haven't checked out Paula's cameos yet, they're unbelievable. I've personally booked a few for my parents. You might not realize that, Paula.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. Yes. I didn't know that, Arthur. You know, I've been real surprised because the majority of them are from men.
Well, I have to tell you, Paula, in our friend circle, Arthur's known as the Paula Deen of the group because you know what he loves? Butter.
Put it on everything.
Well, after I leave y'all, I will be dropping about a half a stick of butter over there.
I'll be dropping one of my drink, Paula, so we're on the same page.
But y'all are adorable, and it's so nice to meet y'all face to face.
Yeah, it's such an honor to meet you.
Thank you. Did y'all have fun with my Dancing with the Stars friends?
Yes, and after this, we have some incredible panels. So Love is Blind. We have a Real Housewives of New York panel.
Wow.
We have a ton of great music tonight.
Wow.
So please continue to tune in to Cameo Cares.
And Montel Williams is he's going to host. I met him one time, and he is a lovely man.
He's wonderful.
A lovely man. And tell him that I enjoyed watching him the other day on Mel Robbins' show, and it was good to see that he's doing well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again, Paula. And just a reminder, everyone, please go to cameo.com, get a cameo from Paula, get a cameo from Montel, And every Cameo this weekend, 100% of proceeds are going to the fight against COVID. Yeah. So thank you all so much.
Good cause. And thank you, kids, for doing it. God bless y'all. And you know, I always send y'all love and best dishes.
Yeah, you too. We'll see you in Savannah.
Hey, yay! Bye, Lindsay.
See ya.